Joining me live in studio is Makueni County Governor, Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Thank you so much for joining us. Reports that we've just received indicate that, the court has stopped any sort of discussion regarding your impeachment. Did you have anything to do with that, or is there any sort of truth to that?
Obviously, when a court is seized of a matter like this, it means that somebody must petition. And I have petitioned the court because the manner in which this impeachment started was very unprocedural. We got a dry list of accusations. There was no evidence whatsoever attached on this list. There was supposed to be a committee, according to the standing orders of the Assembly, which was supposed to have made a report, and it was on the basis of that report that I would have gone to the Assembly or my representative to be able to answer to the charges. There wasn't that committee. So we had to go to court because we don't really want, if possible, for the Senate to deal with a non-issue and waste taxpayers' money. And the court agreed with us and gave us interim orders so that procedural issues regarding this impeachment process can be dealt with.
Right, but there are 35 MCAs who were actually up for your impeachment, and only 10 were against it. And this, in your position now, you are at the mercy of the Senate. But then, if 35 MCAs are actually up for your impeachment, what does that say about you?
Well, it says that they have a grievance, and therefore one must interrogate what is that grievance that they have. And they have been very candid about what they don't like about me. Because at the center of this entire saga, if I can call it that, is I have told them that there are ceilings by the Commission on Revenue Allocation, and the money that they are supposed to have as recurrent expenditure is 356 million. Already they have a budget for 913. They took the controller to court, control of budget, wanting that enforced. And obviously, it is not possible to enforce it because for all counties whose budgets have been approved this far, they have adhered to the ceilings that were passed by Parliament and approved by the President.
I think we've heard all of that, and I think you've mentioned it a number of times before.
That's true.
You're being accused of several things: abuse of office, gross misconduct, and flouted procurement procedures. But then at the end of the day, where do we go from here? What is your game plan at the moment?
The governor is not involved in procurement procedures. I'm even accused of attacking MCAs on internet, on Facebook. They say that I've used county money to refurbish a house in a place called Mali. I don't have a residence there. So there are all those things, and there was just a list. And in actual fact, there was a flyer dropped at night in water before that fateful day that I was almost killed, which was not signed by anybody. The real issue really is that I am trying to say that we must use money prudently for development, and my MCAs will not accept that. In actual fact, the finance minister wrote to them saying that he must interrogate their accounts.
Interrogate their accounts, you say. But then we are all wondering, you've been governor for 2 years now.
Almost 2 years, yes.
Yes. What have you done in the last 2 years that, your MCAs are up in arms against you? What can you say you've achieved, and what have you not achieved?
You see, if people want money which you can't give, and they desperately need it to the extent that they will shoot at you and attempt to assassinate you, then you must understand that you're dealing with human beings who are so focused in terms of their own personal their personal situation. So it is not really a question of anything else, really, and that is why for example, in the first financial year, for about 5 months, we were not able to get a budget approved. And we had to get our elders, the religious sector, the professionals, the control of budget, sitting with her up to 2 a.m. until from 1 billion that they wanted, 577 eventually was agreed on. This time around, we still don't have a budget, and this is 4 months down the road.
We still don't have a budget, and that is exactly the issue. You know, you have been quoted to having said that the leadership crisis in Makueni County is irreconcilable.
That's true.
Irreconcilable as it is. What next? People want to know, first of all, what have you done in the last 2 years that you can say, you know, this is something that I can stand my ground on and say, I've done this for Makueni County. I've done this for the people of Makueni County. And then, of course, what next from here? Knowing that you are you know, you seem to be the sacrificial lamb, or that's what you seem to put yourself as.
Of course, the first thing to understand is if, like, for 5 months, you're denied money to do anything, even when we had the supplementary budget, things that we had already committed were removed by the assembly. So that, again, for about a month and a half, we were not also able to access money to pay for things. But despite that, and I think this is a question that will be answered well by the people of Makueni, despite that, you know, we work very hard to make things happen in terms of water, to make things happen in terms of fruit processing, in terms of our roads, in terms of education, in terms of things that, like in the health department, we have, for example, opened now almost 50 new health centers. The drugs that we have, you know, everywhere. Despite that, you know, we work so hard, and yet, if we didn't have this situation, then it means that we would have achieved twice as much, particularly in the water agenda. Even the other day, as we are embroiled in this conflict, you know, we had our machines for roads and for water. So what really we are arguing is if there is focus by our county assembly members, so that we really dedicate ourselves to working for the people of Makueni, we would go places.
Are you sure you're going to get through this on a yes or no basis?
You see, I am not really worried either way. I'm not worried either way because the citizens themselves have decided they will send all of us home so that they can have a fresh group. And I have no problem with that.
Fresh group, you say. Thank you so much, Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana. It was such an honor speaking to you.
Thank you.
I do appreciate that.